Alright, it's your boy KJ, back with another video. Host of the Broadcast Podcast of SL Sports Language, giving you the livest, latest news about sports. And I'll put it to you like this. If you got an opinion, that's cool. You can debate me about it. You disagree with what I say or said, cool, you can debate me about it. Hold on. But if you don't like what I say, debate me about it! Speaking of debating me about it, put it in the comment section. Comment section, yeah, that's right. Like, comment, subscribe. And here we go. Now, let's talk about my man, Shedeur. It's time. Hold up the wrist. It's time to be legendary. It's time to be great. But Shedeur Sanders, can you do it again? And what I mean by that is, we seen what you did against the Detroit Lions this past preseason game. Throwing 2 touchdown passes, gaining yards, multiple touchdown passes. Well, 2 touchdown passes, going for amount of yards, passing yards, being coachable, not folding under pressure, throwing the ball away when you getting sacked, holding on to the ball when you getting sacked, know when to throw the ball, when not to throw the ball, and being composed. You wasn't looking aggravated, you wasn't looking mad, but you won. You came into the arena blasting your music. You left the arena checking somebody and blasting your music, feeling great. But Shedeur, can you do it again? Shedeur, can you be calm and composed again? Shedeur Sanders. When you win is one thing, but when you lose, how will you act and carry yourself? When you lose, will you act like a brat? When you lose, will you throw your team under the bus? When you lose, will you call out your offensive line like how you did Colorado Buffaloes? Now, let's talk about Cleveland first. Like, you know how I do my videos. We talk about facts, and the rest is my opinion. And based on what I see in my analyzation as a sports commentator, sports analyst in his YouTube game. So let's get into the facts. Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns, they was looking good. The run game was looking good, looking very, very good. Especially that screen pass. For 2, the way they was doing play actions, that looked good. For 3, everybody was on one page. Everybody was doing their thing, especially the offense. That was a whole offense game. Cleveland Browns did their part too. Defense, stopping them to 12 points, making sure that they don't get, like, Detroit barely got any touchdowns. Most of it was field goals. I mean, Cleveland was really doing their part. So Andrew Berry got something on his hands. Andrew Berry got a dogfight on his hands between all the quarterbacks, between Joe Flacco, between Kenny Pickett, between Daniel, between my main man Shedeur, which after this, ain't no way he need to be 4th string. He need to be 2nd string. But I know they want to hold out just in case, because this is only one game. And like I said before, Shedeur Sanders, like my last video, by the way, check that out. Shedeur Sanders being set up for failure or might be set up for success. But I believe they know what they was doing. Like I said, with the Cleveland Browns, obviously you don't want to lose. Obviously you don't want to put nobody out there. You're not trying to forcefully lose unless you're trying to tank for a #1 pick. But I feel like this was still a setup. It just so happened that Shedeur, he used the cards that was dealt, which I can respect any man doing, grinding, hustling. You got to use the cards that was dealt and don't complain. Shedeur ain't been doing no complaining, just keeping a smile on his face and trying to get back to Cleveland and Akron in Ohio, showing them that, hey, y'all wanted me as your quarterback, and I'm gonna show y'all I can be a people person in the community, and also I can also play on the field. Now, here's the thing. I still feel like the Cleveland and the organization were setting this man up for possible failure or possible success. It just so happened that Cleveland was doing good that day and it became successful. Now, of course, Cleveland's gonna ride this bandwagon. The GMs, the owner, they have no choice. You won. Winning is multiple winning games. You won. So we got to see the rest, because all it takes is for Shedeur to do bad a couple of games and be like, see, start pointing. See, the owner just talked to Andrew Berry, to the GM. See, I told you y'all should have called me earlier that Friday. I ain't want to draft this young man anyway. You see, this not going to work. The Cleveland Browns fans, man, why did we draft him anyway? He's a loudmouth talking about they're going to have to change the organization if they want to get me. They're going to have to turn the organization around if they want to get me. Why did Cleveland have to pick him? Now we the laughingstock of the league again. So, like I said, the way they doing Shedeur Sanders, with him being humbled in the NFL draft, with him being a late round draft pick, with his mouth really and the way he perceived himself in the media kind of hurt that too. And also, people or the GMs or the owners may not see him as talented, you know what I mean, as other quarterbacks. But also, him just having to really prove himself, him being a fourth string. So it's already a lot of odds kind of against you. So for the Cleveland Browns to say, okay, we're going to start him, because like I said, in my opinion, publicity, ticket sales, viewership, for people to have the Browns name in people's mouths, not necessarily for a bad thing, but for a what if and expectations kind of mindset. And also to be like, see, I told you I didn't want to pick him. See, I told you I didn't want to take a chance on him. Blame Andrew Berry, the GM, if anything. But they won this game. So now if they win multiple games with Shedeur Sanders, now they already saying, man, we should start Shedeur Sanders. Now they already saying Shedeur Sanders might be the future quarterback that we've been looking for. Now they already saying, man, Cleveland Browns is doing old boy wrong. He should start. So just imagine the season comes up and Shedeur Sanders eventually becomes second string and eventually starting. If Joe Flacco can't keep up no more with his age and time, who's to say this can be a Cinderella story for Cleveland Browns? So that's why I say, can Shedeur Sanders do it again? Because don't get me wrong, he played a hell of a game. He did great. He was legendary. But can he do it again? And if he does it again and again and again and again, touchdown, 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 5 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, etc., etc., etc. Chemistry, 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 chemistry building up. He becoming the prince of the city, Cleveland, Ohio. They haven't had a quarterback touch the city and do good for the city since Kozar from the Hurricanes. Shout out to the U. Bro, this can be big. This can be magazine big. This can be Oprah Winfrey live on TV big. This can be ESPN sitting next to Stephen A. Smith big. This can be not what you gotta say big. This can be Cleveland Browns jersey selling big. So can you do it again, Shedeur? Can you be legendary again, Shedeur? Can you top it again, Shedeur? Like Andre 3000 said, you only as funky as your last cut. We seen what Johnny Manziel did. He stuck up the NFL, then left, then tried to sue the league for what they did. That's not my business. He couldn't keep up. You seen him try to do an RG3, injury prone. That didn't work. You see they tried to do with Deshaun Watson, which was one of the worst free agent signings ever after this whole controversy case, and he got injured. He got booed so much he was crying off the field. His NFL hopes and dreams may not be the same no more. And you see what they did to you coming into the league. It got to a point where Cleveland Browns, it's like their career, if you get traded to Cleveland or you get drafted by Cleveland, that's where your career goes to die. Cleveland hasn't been the Browns haven't been hopeful since the Jim Brown era. And like I said, since the Kozar era, since the Big Daddy era, when he was a defensive tackle. If you know your NFL history, you know about Big Daddy. Pause, since everybody want to say pause. Pause. But if you a real sports head, and of course a Cleveland head, you know. So can the Browns take it back to the 80s? Can the Browns take it back to their glory days? Like I said before, in terms of the Browns, let's go back to facts. The offensive wise was cooking. They was clicking. The run game was doing pretty good. The wide receivers, they barely dropped any passes. The offensive line was the only niche that they need to tweak. That's the only part they need to tweak. That's the offensive line. Now you're gonna have some games, of course, where the defensive tackles are just that good. You're dealing with a TJ Watt. You're dealing with a JJ Watt type of player. You're dealing with a Jadeveon Clowney type of player. Ed Reed type of player. You're dealing with a Ray Lewis type of player. But if the offensive line stays together and limit the amount of sacks that may happen on Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, bravo on that play when Shedeur Sanders was getting sacked. He was going dip, looking back and forth, and he just threw the ball away so to make sure that they wouldn't get loss of yards. Bravo. Because I used to get pissed. I used to get tired of seeing Shedeur Sanders get sacked, or he will hold the ball for too long. You know your offensive line is weak. A quarterback only has at least 5 seconds at most to throw the ball until they throw the ball. Now, if you got only under 3 seconds and you can't throw the ball away or throw it to a player, throw it away. Now, if you get sacked, just hold on to the ball. But there used to be times where I used to watch Shedeur Sanders at Colorado, and he would be holding the ball, and then it's like, dude, just throw it away. And then you get sacked, or you trying to run away, and then you get sacked for a loss of yards. Now it's 2nd and long, 3rd and 15. So that play and there's little things like that should be a highlight itself. I know it sounds ridiculous, but for me, that put a smile on my face because I know he's growing as an athlete. He's not trying to do everything himself and then be like, dang, offensive line. And it's like, dude, you know you was getting sacked. Throw it away. Or you didn't see nobody open, throw it away. Because it's only so long the offensive line can hold up. So when he was running backwards and trying to dip left and right, he like, nah, just throw this thing away. And that's what I like to see. It's called growth. You gotta have growth in your game. You gotta have versatility in your game. You gotta know when to lose and win.